Arc fault circuit interrupters, or AFCIs, are a critical safety component in modern electrical systems. The absence of these devices or a failure to recommend their installation can expose contractors to potential legal liabilities. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, mandates AFCIs in specific locations to mitigate the risk of electrical fires caused by arc faults. An arc fault is an unintentional electrical discharge that can occur due to damaged wiring, loose connections, or insulation breakdown. These faults generate intense heat and can easily ignite surrounding materials, leading to fires. AFCIs are designed to detect these arc faults and quickly interrupt the circuit, preventing a fire from starting. Contractors must be diligent in adhering to NEC requirements for AFCI installation. Failure to do so can result in code violations, fines, and, more significantly, potential legal action in the event of a fire. Beyond simply meeting the minimum code requirements, contractors should also consider the benefits of recommending additional AFCIs to clients, particularly in new construction projects. While the NEC specifies certain areas where AFCIs are mandatory, there may be other living spaces where their installation would provide an extra layer of safety. By proactively recommending AFCIs in these areas, contractors demonstrate a commitment to safety and can potentially reduce their liability in the event of an electrical fire. Several parties involved in the construction process could face legal repercussions for failing to recommend AFCIs. These include, firstly, the design professional, who is responsible for creating the electrical design for the building. Secondly, the general contractor, who oversees the entire construction project. Thirdly, the electrical subcontractor, who is responsible for the actual installation of the electrical system. Each of these parties has a responsibility to ensure that AFCIs are installed in accordance with code requirements and to consider recommending additional AFCIs where appropriate. To mitigate the risk of lawsuits related to AFCIs, contractors should take the following steps. Firstly, stay up to date on the latest NEC requirements for AFCI installation. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and it is essential to be aware of any changes to the AFCI requirements. Secondly, educate clients about the benefits of AFCIs and the potential risks of electrical fires. Clients may not be aware of the dangers of arc faults or the protective capabilities of AFCIs. Contractors should take the time to explain these issues and answer any questions. Thirdly, document all recommendations for AFCI installation, including any recommendations for additional AFCIs beyond the code requirements. This documentation can serve as evidence of the contractor's due diligence in the event of a lawsuit. Fourthly, use high-quality AFCIs from reputable manufacturers. The quality of AFCIs can vary, and it is essential to use devices that are reliable and effective. Fifthly, properly install and test AFCIs to ensure that they are functioning correctly. Incorrectly installed or malfunctioning AFCIs will not provide adequate protection against arc faults. It is also important to understand the different types of AFCIs available. There are branch or feeder AFCIs which protect the entire branch circuit, and combination AFCIs which protect against both parallel and series arc faults. Combination AFCIs are generally recommended for new construction because they provide the most comprehensive protection. When recommending additional AFCIs, contractors should consider the specific needs of the client and the layout of the building. For example, in homes with young children or elderly residents, it may be wise to install AFCIs in all living areas, including bedrooms, living rooms, and dining rooms. In addition to AFCIs, contractors should also recommend other safety measures to clients such as ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, smoke detectors, and carbon monoxide detectors. GFCIs protect against electrical shock, while smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors provide early warning of fires and carbon monoxide poisoning. By promoting a comprehensive approach to electrical safety, contractors can help protect their clients from harm and reduce their own liability. It's important to note that even if a contractor meets all the code requirements for AFCI installation, they may still be sued if a fire occurs and it is alleged that they should have recommended additional AFCIs. For this reason, it is crucial to have adequate insurance coverage to protect against potential liabilities. Contractors should consult with their insurance provider to ensure that they have sufficient coverage for AFCI-related claims. Furthermore, Contractors should maintain detailed records of all electrical work performed, including AFCI installations. These records should include the date of installation, the type of AFCI used, and any recommendations made to the client. Such documentation can be invaluable in defending against a lawsuit. In conclusion, contractors face increasing scrutiny regarding their responsibility to install and recommend AFCIs. By staying informed about code requirements, educating clients, documenting recommendations, using quality products, and maintaining adequate insurance coverage, contractors can mitigate their risk of lawsuits and protect themselves from potential liabilities. The NEC provides specific guidelines for the installation of AFCIs, which are designed to protect against arc faults that can lead to electrical fires. These requirements are outlined in Article 210.12 of the NEC. It is crucial to consult the latest edition of the NEC for the most up-to-date requirements. The NEC mandates AFCIs in dwelling units to protect branch circuits that supply certain locations. Firstly, all 120 volts, 15 amps and 20 amps branch circuits supplying outlets or devices installed in dwelling unit kitchens, family rooms, dining rooms, living rooms, parlors, libraries, dens, bedrooms, sunrooms, recreation rooms, closets, hallways, or similar rooms or areas must be protected by AFCIs. Secondly, the NEC also requires AFCIs for branch circuits supplying outlets in dormitory units. Thirdly, in addition, any extension or modification of a branch circuit requires AFCI protection if the extension or modification is more than 6 feet. There are some exceptions to the AFCI requirements. Firstly, an exception is made for situations where the extension or modification of a branch circuit is less than 6 feet. AFCI protection is not required. Secondly, another exception is made for fire alarm systems. Circuits that are dedicated to fire alarm systems are not required to have AFCI protection. The NEC also specifies the types of AFCIs that are permitted. Firstly, the code recognizes branch or feeder AFCIs, which protect the entire branch circuit. Secondly, it also recognizes combination AFCIs, which provide protection against both parallel and series arc faults. The NEC permits the use of either type of AFCI, but combination AFCIs are generally recommended for new construction because they offer more comprehensive protection. When installing AFCIs, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. AFCIs are sensitive devices, and they can be damaged by improper installation. It is also important to test AFCIs after installation to ensure that they are functioning correctly. This can be done using a test button on the AFCI or by using a specialized AFCI tester. If an AFCI trips frequently, it may indicate a problem with the electrical circuit. It is important to investigate the cause of the tripping and correct any problems before resetting the AFCI. Failure to do so could result in a fire. In addition to the NEC requirements, some local jurisdictions may have additional requirements for AFCI installation. It is important to check with the local building department to determine if there are any local requirements that must be followed. Contractors should also be aware of the potential for nuisance tripping of AFCIs. Nuisance tripping occurs when an AFCI trips for no apparent reason. This can be caused by a variety of factors, including electrical noise, faulty appliances, or improper wiring. If nuisance tripping occurs, it is important to investigate the cause and take steps to correct the problem. One way to reduce the risk of nuisance tripping is to use high-quality AFCIs from reputable manufacturers. Another way is to ensure that the electrical wiring is properly installed and grounded. Contractors should also educate clients about the potential for nuisance tripping and how to reset an AFCI if it trips. In addition to the technical aspects of AFCI installation, contractors should also be aware of the legal and ethical considerations. As mentioned earlier, contractors can be held liable for damages if they fail to install AFCIs properly or if they fail to recommend their installation in situations where they are not required by code. For this reason, it is important to exercise due diligence and to always put the safety of clients first. Contractors should also be aware of the potential for conflicts of interest. For example, a contractor may be tempted to cut corners on AFCI installation in order to save money. However, this would be unethical and could expose the contractor to legal liability. In conclusion, AFCIs are an important safety device that can help to prevent electrical fires. Contractors have a responsibility to install AFCIs properly and to recommend their installation in situations where they are not required by code. By following the NEC requirements, using high-quality products, and exercising due diligence, contractors can help to protect their clients from harm and reduce their own risk of liability. The potential legal ramifications of failing to install or recommend AFCIs are significant. Contractors could face lawsuits from homeowners, insurance companies, or even government agencies. These lawsuits could result in substantial financial penalties, including damages for property loss, personal injury, and even wrongful death. In addition to financial penalties, contractors could also face reputational damage, which could make it difficult to attract new clients. For these reasons, it is essential for contractors to take AFCI installation seriously and to always err on the side of safety. Contractors should also consider obtaining professional liability insurance to protect themselves from potential claims. Professional liability insurance, also known as errors and omissions insurance, can help to cover the costs of defending against a lawsuit and paying damages if the contractor is found liable. The cost of professional liability insurance will vary depending on the contractor's experience, the size of their business, and the amount of coverage desired. However, the cost of insurance is typically much less than the potential cost of a lawsuit. In addition to insurance, contractors should also implement a comprehensive risk management program to identify and mitigate potential risks. A risk management program should include procedures for ensuring that all employees are properly trained on AFCI installation, that all work is performed in accordance with code requirements, and that all recommendations for AFCI installation are documented in writing. Contractors should also conduct regular inspections of their work to identify any potential problems. By implementing a comprehensive risk management program, contractors can reduce their risk of lawsuits and protect their business from financial harm. It is also important for contractors to stay informed about changes in the NEC and other relevant codes and standards. The electrical industry is constantly evolving, and new technologies and safety standards are being developed all the time. Contractors who fail to keep up with these changes could be putting their clients at risk and exposing themselves to legal liability. Contractors can stay informed about changes in the NEC by attending industry conferences, reading trade publications, and participating in online forums. They can also subscribe to newsletters from organizations such as the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, and the International Association of Electrical Inspectors, or IE. By staying informed and taking proactive steps to mitigate risk, contractors can help to ensure the safety of their clients and protect their businesses from potential liabilities. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered legal advice. Contractors should consult with an attorney to obtain legal advice specific to their situation. It is essential to understand that the legal landscape surrounding AFCI requirements and contractor liability is constantly evolving. Court decisions, legislative changes, and regulatory interpretations can all impact a contractor's potential exposure to legal claims. Therefore, it is crucial to stay informed about the latest developments in this area and to seek legal advice when necessary. In addition to the specific legal considerations related to AFCIs, contractors should also be aware of general principles of contract law and tort law. Contract law governs the agreements that contractors enter into with their clients, while tort law governs the duties that contractors owe to their clients and to the general public. By understanding these basic legal principles, contractors can better protect their interests and avoid potential legal problems. For example, contractors should ensure that their contracts clearly define the scope of work, the payment terms, and the responsibilities of each party. They should also include provisions that limit their liability in the event of unforeseen circumstances. In addition, contractors should take steps to protect themselves from tort claims by ensuring that their work is performed in a safe and professional manner and that they have adequate insurance coverage. By taking a proactive approach to risk management and by seeking legal advice when necessary, contractors can minimize their potential exposure to legal claims and protect their businesses from financial harm. The NEC Section 210.12 provides more detailed requirements for arc fault circuit interrupter protection. It specifies that all 120 volts, single-phase, 15 amps and 20 amps branch circuits supplying outlets or devices installed in dwelling units must be protected by AFCIs. The specific rooms or areas covered under 210.12 include kitchens, family rooms, dining rooms, living rooms, parlors, libraries, dens, bedrooms, sunrooms, recreation rooms, closets, hallways, and similar rooms or areas. The purpose of this requirement is to provide enhanced protection against electrical fires caused by arc faults in these areas, which are considered to be high-risk locations. Arc faults can occur due to damaged wiring, loose connections, or other electrical hazards, and they can generate heat that can ignite surrounding materials. AFCIs are designed to detect these arc faults and quickly interrupt the circuit, preventing a fire from starting. It is important to note that the AFCI protection requirements apply to all outlets and devices installed in the specified rooms or areas, regardless of whether they are new or existing. This means that if a contractor is performing electrical work in one of these areas, they must ensure that the branch circuits are protected by AFCIs. There are some exceptions to the AFCI protection requirements, as outlined in 210.12b. These exceptions typically apply to situations where the installation of AFCIs would create a greater hazard or where other safety measures are in place. For example, an exception may be made for circuits that supply fire alarm systems, as these systems are designed to operate continuously and should not be interrupted by AFCIs. In addition to the NEC requirements, some local jurisdictions may have additional requirements for AFCI protection. Contractors should always check with the local building department to determine if there are any local requirements that must be followed. The type of AFCI used must also comply with UL 1699, the standard for arc fault circuit interrupters. This standard outlines the performance requirements for AFCIs and ensures that they are capable of detecting and interrupting arc faults effectively. There are two main types of AFCIs: combination AFCIs and branch or feeder AFCIs. Combination AFCIs are designed to protect against both parallel and series arc faults, while branch or feeder AFCIs are designed to protect against parallel arc faults only. Combination AFCIs are generally considered to be more effective and are required in many jurisdictions. The installation of AFCIs should be performed by a qualified electrician who is familiar with the NEC requirements and the manufacturer's instructions. Improper installation of AFCIs can result in nuisance tripping, reduced protection, or even damage to the electrical system. After installation, AFCIs should be tested to ensure that they are functioning properly. This can be done using a test button on the AFCI or with a specialized AFCI tester. If an AFCI fails to trip when tested, it should be replaced immediately. Regular maintenance of AFCIs is also important. AFCIs should be inspected periodically for signs of damage or wear. The test button should be pressed monthly to ensure that the AFCI is still functioning properly. The information provided here is intended for educational purposes only and should not be considered legal or electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified professional for specific guidance on AFCI requirements and installation.